Hey there, everybody. Today I thought we'd show a little video of feeding in one of our feedlots. We've had a lot of questions and comments and whatnot on social media about, our calves, our process, how we feed, how the cattle are taken care of, what kind of life they live here at our place. So we thought we'd be transparent a little bit and show a video of both of our lots. Today I'll just be taking on the south lot, the one I usually feed at. My dad usually feeds up at the big lot at my house where we finish everything. This one's more of a grower yard where we bring all the smaller cattle and feed them up to 750 to 900 pounds roughly, and then we'll take them up to the other lot to be finished. But we will jump out here, go start stuff, and let it warm up for a minute. It's about 10 degrees today. It's pretty chilly. It felt like -3 this morning when we woke up and got the kids out the door. So we'll go let stuff warm up, and then we will catch you back up in the tractor. So what we'll do here, we'll just, while the loader and tractor are warming up, we're just gonna drive these bunks. I have these going pretty well on feed. They've been weaned a long time. These heifers are getting to be pretty good size. They're probably 7.5, 7.25, 7.5, eating probably about 40 to 42 pounds on a grower ration that we have. So everybody's pretty straightened out, eating real well. Obviously you can see the bunks are good and slicked up. They're running up, they're hungry. They're happy the sun's up. Warm up a little bit. We only got 5 pens full right now up here, and we are leaving the end pen open. We have a bunch of old cows that we bought bred, that broken mouth, short solid type cows. We just get them a little cheaper, and we will put them down this trap to calve and let them come up, eat out of the bunk, so we don't have to, if the weather gets bad, we don't have to drive down into that pasture to feed them, which if we had too many we could. We have some tires down there, but all the bunks are slick and the waters are open. We'll go down and get the loader and start loading. Probably get some questions after talking about those old cows. We buy not a ton of those old cows. We just go around the sale barns like when we're getting some calves, and we'll buy the moderate frame, the cheaper-ish old cows that are bred, because we have a bunch of them little smaller pastures, and instead of increasing the cow herd and having to buy a ton of extra bulls and keep extra bulls around for the small pastures, we just calve out those old cows, and then in August or so, September, depending on when they calve, we'll pull the calves, throw them in the feedlot, and we'll just sell those cows as weigh-ups. And it just helps, even in the winter, we don't have to winter that many more cows. Like I said, the bulls, the cost of bulls, you know, they're pretty high, and that just, it's another, you know, 10 to 15 bulls we have to keep around. So it really cuts down on that cost as well. So that's kind of the old cow program that we run. I don't know if it's the best thing to do, but we don't run a lot of grass calves here. We have a lot of fences that aren't great, and I really don't want to chase calves around the country all summer. So the old cows, they do well. They stay in, they do good. They raise good calves usually. Might get a wild one, being a sale barn calf here and there, but that's all right. So we'll jump out and we'll go ahead and get the loader, and we'll start loading this feed up. Kind of talking as I was loading, just the different things that we put in our ration, or the ingredients. And so we use the distiller's grain. It's a byproduct out of the ethanol plant from corn. Then we have our supplement pellets, and then the mixed hay was the first pile, the first load that we put in. And I think I bought some, I think they were barley or oat bales, I can't really remember, a year and a half ago from my brother-in-law. He used to be in the hay business. And then the second pile is alfalfa, ground alfalfa that we raise here. Then we had the wet corn pile. All that is just high moisture corn, the same corn that you see picked in other videos, but we just pick it higher moisture and we grind it in a tub grinder and pack it and then throw a tarp on it. It makes for a really good feed. And then over there was the sorghum silage. We raise all that ourselves as well. The only thing that we didn't raise on farm would be half the bales that we mixed into the mixed hay, and that was from my brother-in-law. During a dry year, we just bought extra hay so we have it, and it's come in handy. It's good hay, and that mixed hay usually just more of a filler than anything. And I wasn't sure exactly how I was gonna make the video yet, so I figured I'd just kind of go over the few different things that we throw in this ration. If there's any other questions, or if people aren't really sure, or they have other questions about something that goes into it, or the dry matter percentages, I like to talk about feeding cattle, so I'd be happy to answer any questions. But I get a lot of questions and comments on social media, or people reaching out when they buy beef, of not only where their beef comes from or how their beef is handled and raised, but there's more of a growing concern about what goes into the beef to get it to the finished stage. So we figured maybe we be a little more transparent in what we do. We have that little YouTube channel, there's like 2-3 videos on it's all. We're not doing these to start a YouTube channel. I just want these to link to our website, and so people that go into the website, they can click on that and they can see kind of how we go about things, how our beef's raised. They have a better idea. It's more transparent that way. So we will kind of share our journey a little bit on there, but I probably won't be making a ton of videos and posting unless we get a lot of comments and curiosity or questions asking us to make a video, just a simple video here and there, because we're doing all the editing. Probably ain't gonna be fantastic, but we'll learn as we go, kind of deal. And the next video we do, I will do up at the other feedlot, and I will kind of walk you through the process up there. It's a lot similar to how we do things here, a little bit different equipment and a little different setup, and a little more complex rations, a little different types, because there's cattle on feed, there's fats on full feed. We just got some ballers in up there because we had room, so we got a little bit of everything going on up there as well. Down here, it's once everything's straightened out, they kind of go in this grower, and we just grow them until they go to the next lot, or we sell maybe a couple loads of feeders here and there and not finish quite everything out yet. So we will jump in the tractor and go run this last load off, and we will pick you back up then. Oh, sorry. I thought my GoPro was running, but it wasn't. So what you missed was I ran off just the first pen of the feed, and that's all you miss. I noticed it wasn't recording, and I clicked you on. So I think I had the photo settings on. I'm not a guru with GoPro or anything. They are handy, they're fun. I used to take them hunting for a second angle all the time, so I wouldn't miss it. But I was saying, on this PTO, or the setup, the tractor, the PTO on these wagons, what we like to do, we don't like to obviously just crank the RPMs through the roof on it. We like to keep ours around 1,000, 1,050. So kind of what you have to do is you have to get pretty good at knowing where to open your gate on your feed wagon, your speed, your gear of your tractor, so you can get the feed evenly distributed across the whole pen and not have all of your feed in half the bunk line. So all your calves can get up there and eat, and nothing gets left out. So like right there, I had to back up, put an extra 100, 150 pounds, just kind of scatter it, which is fine. This isn't a real light, fluffy, big ration kind of like some of your cow rations, so they can't nose it out of the bunk very well. And they won't waste any feed that way. This pen is a partial pen. It's not clear full, so I'll actually kick my gear up just a little bit and I'll string it out plenty far enough so everything can get up and eat. And then there was a couple in here that were just a touch smaller and lighter. They get pushed around by them bigger heifers a little bit, and they can come all the way to the end by themselves and be out of the way, which they're not near. They've cottoned up quite a bit, and they're not near as hard fought as they were, so that's not near as big a problem as what it was when we first got that load. So we'll creep up here to this next pen. This is actually also kind of a partial pen, not by much, but this was the lightest end of our home raised stuff, plus a couple them red ones were a couple bought ones that didn't fit anything, so we threw them in with our odds and ends pen, kind of what we call it. We have a bunch of old cows that maybe don't raise the biggest calf, or say cows go dry earlier, they just don't milk or they don't produce or raise a very good calf. We throw them all together in a kind of a smaller pen, smaller environment, so they don't have to compete at the bunk, and they catch up fast, they grow good. They're not bad calves, and we'll keep them and still feed them out, and they'll just be a little bit behind the big end, obviously. And a lot of those calves are actually out of good cows and good producing moms, but our calving window is very late, so a lot of those cows, they calve out on grass and they calve late. So a lot of those are just late born calves, and they get weaned. We don't let them have extra time on mom even though they were born late. They get weaned at the same time as the big calves, so it doesn't hurt them any. It just sets them back a little because they didn't have the same time to mature and get as big on the mom. So that's why they go in a separate pen. That way they don't have to compete, and they can. It's just as easy for them to go up and eat and live in peace, I guess, for a while until they get bigger. But we're always sorting through cattle, always sizing. We always keep the steers and heifers separate once they come to lots. That odds and ends pen does have steers and heifers in it right now, but that's just because that's all the little stuff thrown together, and there's no reason really they can't run together for now. And then once we do some sizing, that's when they'll get sorted off and when they go on feed down the road. And even those calves, they might get kept back long enough. We might kick them out on a cover crop or on grass, and we might have a handful of grass calves. Just helps them, kick them out, let them grow, let them get the frame on them, little age, because the rest of these, you know, they have a couple months on them. So if we kick them out, allow them to get that frame and that age, they come back to the feedlot and they do exceptionally well. This last pen was all home-raised heifers. We used to breed a ton of heifers and sell bred heifers to the public, and we might start dabbling a little more into that again. With the prices the way they were, we just kind of went away from it because the price of fats were just so good, and we just kept everything on feed, and it was just a better deal for our program. But we do raise some pretty nice heifers. I'm not saying they're the best around or nothing like that, but I've had a couple guys that have bought them in the past call me requesting heifers for next year already, and obviously we're not even calving this year's heifer, so I've had a couple guys call me, say they really like them and want us to do it again. So if there's more of a demand for that, and if I get more calls from you guys, I might keep some back and breed them. So what we do, when we did that program, the ranch, I wouldn't even keep off the top end for the ranch. What I would do is, I wouldn't keep anything that was bad. We would keep top, at least, I'd say maybe the top half, and breed everything, kick them out. After I'd kick them out the bulls, bring them back, and honestly, a lot of times we just gate cut. And if we had a bunch sold, when those people came and looked at them, I would charge a couple $100 a head more if they wanted to pick through for a bigger load. But a lot of times those guys just say gate cut them. And if I have one that she just didn't quite grow like the rest, or she's squattier, or just maybe just something I appeal that guy, that buyer doesn't like, I will hold that one for him. And I'll keep, if no one wants her, I'll keep it myself. I don't keep anything that's gonna be a bad cow. Everything disposition-wise is always good. I don't like a lot of those fence jumpers, and especially with the young kids now that we have, it just ain't worth having wild cows around. My window's kind of dirty, I apologize, but you can kind of see everything coming up to the bunk. That's what you like to see. Nothing laying back sick or displeased or anything. And when we do that heifer deal, we do not keep any bought heifers back. It's all home raised out of our cow herd that we keep replacements back. We do buy some cattle, like these pins right here, and there are some really nice black heifers in here, but we don't like to be dishonest. We don't, if we tell you it's home raised cattle, and that's why when people ask, well, I want to see the ones you kept back for the ranch and see if you guys kept the top end, and I'll tell them that nope, we gate cut them, and I'll show them to them, and they're as even as can be. We've had people in the past, I've had a friend down south that is in heifer development, and I've bought some very nice heifers over the years, just guys out their calves off their home-raised cows, and I know if I know the cow herd and I know the people directly, I can keep those separate, and I'll sell them as replacement type, but I won't breed those myself unless we really got into the demand where I needed to keep a bunch back, and then I'd be transparent and I'd tell people that they were all bought, but I'd be able to at least tell them this is who they came from, this is the program they run, the kind of cows they have, because it's hard to market a Black Angus heifer if you don't know what the kind of cows that guy has. Just because they're black coming through the ring and they say they're Black Angus or they're Simmental or they're this or they're that, you can kind of pick out a Hereford or a Baldy. But so that's kind of why we do that. But the heifer deal, it was good to us, but it's a lot of time, a lot of effort, and the marketing side of them, when the markets weren't great, we were still selling them pretty high, and you get a lot of tire kickers, and I don't know if anyone's ever tried to sell something, even on Facebook or an auction service, there's a lot of crap that you have to put up with, and sometimes it just ain't worth it. We'll just put them in the feedlot because, when we buy our bulls, we know how those calves are going to perform in the feedlot, and there's a premium to that for that too. So we don't like to just give stuff away on one end when we could do do a really good job on the back end and feed them and make a really good premium on them. So that's kind of why we went away for the bred heifer deal. We actually kept 90 replacements last year and bred them to kind of revamp the cow herd, just because when it was real dry, we went through and we picked off. Sorry, my GoPro cut out on me, but we went through that cow herd and we took off all the bad bags and all the cows that maybe didn't raise a great calf or a calf up to the standards that we would want, and we pulled all those off, and we went real light on our grass and trying to save the grass so the next year we'd have plenty to go back to, and it worked out good for us, and we were blessed and got some rain that next year after a pretty good 2-year drought. I'd say it was pretty sparse there for a while, but I had to switch to the phone. My GoPro died, but that kind of wraps up this video for the feeding anyway. If there's any questions, concerns, comments, drop them down, message me, contact me. I'd be happy to answer any questions or talk about it. We just had some feedback or some comments and questions about kind of seeing how we do it, seeing the feeding process, or how the cattle are raised here, what they're fed, just everyday things. And what I think is just common knowledge I learned, you know, going through college and taking certain classes, that it's not so common, you know, and that's just with every profession in the world. So if there's more things that people would like to see, we're sure open to showing them or helping people understand, or just sharing our everyday experiences. It's probably not gonna be the best videos because I'm not a tech guru, but we'll do the best we can, and we will come back on another video here soon and do the lot up at my house, the big feed lot, with that process and all the fats that we have on feed, the cattle going on feed. We're gonna implant a bunch of steers and do some sorting here in the next week while the weather's nice. So I guess I could probably document a little bit of that and kind of explain that process as well. So but if not, just check out the website. Our meat sticks and jerky are flying off the shelf. They're selling great. We appreciate everybody that has reached out, supported us, bought sticks or jerky, or just had positive or negative even feedback, or what we could do better, or things that we can work on. So we always have retail cuts and ground beef on hand. You don't have to buy a full beef. I understand with the beef market the way it is, that's a lot of money and it's a lot of freezer space, and that's kind of why we started doing the website deal and selling retail cuts, because we like to help people out either way. Our bulk beef is priced basically what we just sell a fat for at, say, National Beef or wherever. So we're not marking those up with crazy premiums. We are just literally whatever that current market price is for their pen mates plus the processing. So, and if you buy a whole or a half, and if you have somewhere that you prefer it get processed, by all means, that can be arranged too. So if you have any questions or concerns, just reach out to one of us at the ranch. We'd love to chat with you. So thanks for watching the video. We'll see you back at the next one up at the other feedlot. Take care. Sounds good.